Ready. Play.
I actually want to look to 2025, and if I was an Iga fan, I think I would be a little bit worried. I think I'd be a bit worried by these 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 performances. When was her last title, by the way? Was it Roland Garros? Has she won a title since Roland Garros? I'm going to say she hasn't won one since Roland Garros, but
I guess, because, I mean,
Grass,
after
of
that she would
course,
have only played Wimbledon, she would have played the Olympics,
and then US Open.
and then, I mean, Canada, Cincinnati, and the US
She didn't
Open.
play Canada. She didn't play Canada.
All right, because
yeah.
the Olympics, yeah, right.
So
then Cincinnati, US Open, and then the WTA finals, I guess, yeah.
yeah. So, you know, for her that's a stretch, albeit that she hasn't played a lot of tournaments. But it's more than that though. When I see Iga battling through matches, I just think it's the way she's been scraping through these matches against players that, in the past, I've seen her wipe the floor with them.
Well, I don't think you've seen her wipe the floor with Badosa or with Noskova in faster conditions.
No, true.
Paolini, sure, but also they haven't played all that much. Like, they've played at Roland Garros, obviously, which is like the kingdom of Swiatek. But yeah, I mean, I get it. I don't think the Billie Jean King Cup is exactly what makes me worried or something like that. But there are a lot of Iga fans right now who are a little over the Abramovich partnership as well, and kind of how close, it is, and how it's gone like way beyond regular psychologist-player relationship. Personally, yeah, it's very hard for me to say anything as an outsider, and a lot of people are just quick to jump to conclusions. So about that, I don't know, but it's very clear that the new coach, the new partnership with Wim Fissette, she is doing that to help out her major results outside of Roland Garros.
Could go the other way, of course.
It could. I mean, it's clear that this is the main idea. Will it work? We don't know. But at the same time, while there are reasons to be worried, I'd say there are also reasons to be excited because, yeah, it's something new. It's something new that we haven't seen in Iga's game since 2022, of course, when at the beginning of the year, or rather at the end of 2021, I guess Viktorovski was signed up, and that ended up being, a phenomenal decision, obviously. So I think maybe you can sort of cling on to that, and just Australia is just going to be a very important event. Generally speaking, I think there was there was cause for concern, and in fact, this is also why she changed coaches, right? Like, she doesn't really want to be, one slam wonder anymore, and just keep winning Roland Garros every year, if that even happens, because of course you have the match point against Osaka this year, and she might go out in the second round. So I think the clear goal for this is to improve at the other hardcourt slams, which is why the Australian Open is going to be a huge tale for me.
You don't see it as a free hit?
Not really. I think it's going to be a huge tale of
I'm giggling because this is the second time we've recorded this, and I interrupted you at the exact same moment before. Anyway,
but this time I didn't mention Abramovich.
yeah, true, yeah.
Earlier I mentioned Abramovich and kind of how a lot of Iga fans are now looking a little bit more critically at their partnership, and how it kind of has extended beyond the regular norms of player and psychologist. As an outsider, very tough to say, but of course I understand the concerns as well. So yeah, for me, Australia will be important. Like, she can't just go out in the third or forefront again, have a performance like she did against Pegula at the US Open, where it's just like one note, errors from start to finish. She keeps going for the same. There's no improvisation, there's no variety whatsoever. I think that really cannot happen. Then again, I will have a bit of a, if it doesn't go right, I will just probably say, okay, it's just 3 months since she started working with Fissette. I will give them a bit more time, definitely.
For sure.
But I think, yeah, it's really important for her to start producing at the other slams at Roland Garros. Clearly, this is why she's changing coaches, and that will be more of a tell. But yeah, right now we are definitely at a period in her career where we're not really looking into 2025 as like okay, she's definitely dominating the tour again. We're definitely at a bit of a crossroads.
Partly because of the challengers, I think, to her in terms of opponents as well that are raising their game. But yeah, I see this Abramovich thing a bit. I think it's because she's the constant. And I think, did you not highlight something during the Olympics with her in terms of how Iga was obviously particularly anxious, and really, part of Abramovich's job is to keep her calm?
Yeah, I mean, at the Olympics, obviously the semi-finals against Kinven, that was she was literally nervous enough so that she couldn't play her best. Of course, she could still wave her racket, but she couldn't execute the motions anymore. we're going straight at that iceberg then.
Okay. So yeah, Abramovich, yeah, I can see it because, you know, she is a mainstay, and yet it does feel as though that relationship is very solid and maybe too solid in a way.
No idea. I mean, the main thing is that we cannot compare the actual state and what would have happened if she is not there. At the Olympics, of course, that was kind of the big deal. You know, she gets like so nervous, Iga, I mean, that she can't play almost against Kinven. Should that be happening if like you have a psychologist sort of like straight up in your box? I have no idea, because maybe it would have been much worse if Abramovich isn't there.
Yeah.
So I think it's just so impossible for us to actually judge whether she is doing good work with her or not anymore. Maybe this is another relationship that kind of has, you know, run past its expiration date. But I think without inside kind of info and spending time with the Iga box in a way that we will never be able to, I don't think we can necessarily judge that. People are definitely very quick to do it, but I'm not one of them. However, I understand that some tennis fans, like for example Juan Ignacio, right, who's been also like in Santiago as a talking tennis member, I know that he has gone like 180, on Abramovich and her contributions. Like he's very, very negative towards her. So
okay.
Yeah, I mean, I understand it. Like if someone has concerns about this as well, I totally get it. Me myself, I can't really say that I know much about the situation.
Sure.